welcome to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Crystal.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we are so happy to have you all back with us for another episode of this here podcast. Now, we got a lot of good stories to get into, and I'm not going to waste no time. Let's get straight into it, shall we, Crystal?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this story comes to us from the subreddit r/relationship advice, and it is entitled, "My 22-year-old male girlfriend, 24-year-old female, is mad that I slept with my neighbor." Here we
He
go.
says that as if she shouldn't be mad.
But I'm going to give you the context.
Because the title is very...
It's...
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he says, "I was 21 when I moved into my own apartment. A cute girl from across the hall. A cute girl lives across the hall from me. So when I first moved in, we started flirting, and that led to us having sex. One-time thing, no interactions with her since, other than saying hi in the hallway. After that, I met my current girlfriend, which I've been dating for 6 months now. We talked about how many partners we've had before. Big mistake. Oh shit, I lost my story. Hold on. We had before, but never specifically mentioned who they were. Anyway, yesterday the two of them met in the hallway as we were going to my place. Girlfriend said that she's cute and asked why I never made a move on her. Trap. Then I told her we actually slept together once, and she was so shocked and pissed off. I tried to apologize, talk to her, and do whatever, but she refuses to talk to me. Even if I had any kind of relationship with the neighbor, I would end it immediately for my girlfriend. How can I handle this and smooth it out?"
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why context is needed. It's weird to me and a little bit of a red flag that she would make that comment, get it confirmed, and then be mad about it.
Say it. Preacher.
I don't like that. I also have to take into account how old are these people again?
He is 28. No, I'm sorry. He is 22. She is 24.
Okay, so they're on the younger side, but still, that's just weird to me, and it is a little bit of a red flag, especially because, at least from the context of your letter, you seem sweet and you seem to be really into your girlfriend. Yeah. You don't have anything to be ashamed about. She asked. Like, at the end of the day, if this was information that she couldn't handle, she shouldn't have asked for it. In this context, it's not like you guys are still flirting or you're still low-key trying to hook up. I don't know if that's what it is. It sounds to me like she has some sort of insecurity. I don't know if she's been cheated on in the past, and maybe you guys just you're only been dating for 6 months. You haven't gotten to that type of conversation. But like, you can't be bringing all of your past baggages, I guess, and expecting it to go wrong the same way in your past relationship, if that makes sense. If that's, I don't know if I said that correctly, but like, if you had trouble with a past boyfriend, you shouldn't just expect this new boyfriend to be the same way. Like,
right.
You're 6 months in, you're at that stage where you're learning about each other's and your past partners. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Me personally, like, if you want to learn about that stuff with your partner, like, okay, just also be prepared for those answers. I'm one of those people who don't think you need to worry about how much a girl or guy have necessarily been with someone else, if that makes sense. Like, what they do in the past is what they do in the past. It shouldn't really affect unless, this is just a casual thing type. I don't know. It's not something I would have personally been upset about. Like, if anything, I'd be more concerned with like Why did it only last one time? What happened? Was
I
it bad?
mean, sometimes things are just one and done's.
Yeah.
I think the mistake he made is sleeping with the neighbor in the first place.
I
I
mean, I
don't
agree.
like that's to me because
You're always
knowing
going to see that person in some way.
you know what I'm saying, and then men are a little competitive in
Mm-hmm.
nature, and say she's a vocal lover,
Mm-hmm.
and you go out in the hallway and you hearing cheeks clapping and stuff, and you be like, he ain't hit that shit how I hit that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? She,
I I would be curious the story though. Like I understand there's some
yeah,
people who are just a one and done, but if you took the time to flirt and get to the point where you guys hooked up and then it never happened again, I'd be wondering why. Like what
yeah.
happened? All that flirting, all that
Well,
chemistry just
this was
left?
probably his first apartment, and once he did it, he was like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
shouldn't do this.
maybe.
I don't need to
Like I
shit where I
said,
eat."
I would
know?
be curious what his story is. Like before
Yeah.
you're getting mad, especially because you're the one who's like, "Oh, she's cute. Why didn't you ever try to hook up?" And he's like, "Oh, I did." I'd
This is
just be
a
like,
this is an instance, sir, where you should have lied. You should have lied. You should have been like, you know what? She just ain't my type, and left it there because she ain't going to. Well, you know what? The way that this girlfriend carrying herself, she may have stopped at her place one day again and be like, "Girl, can I come in for a glass of wine?
but you know what?
Do
That's
you
a
fuck
good
my man or
response.
no?" Like,
That's a good response either way. Like you
yeah,
just saying, "Oh, she's not my type." That covers where if it did come up later on, like, "Oh, but you slept with them." And I'd be like, and we realized they were not my type.
boom. So I didn't lie. I just omitted what I did.
Right.
Yeah. But I get what you're
uh,
saying though, Crystal. She
yeah.
absolutely put the ball on the tee in this
Mhm.
situation and was mad when he swung. Like,
Yeah.
what?
I don't think you need to be groveling the way you're groveling. Like
No.
this, you need to take a step back and be like, you know what? She's being unfair to me in this situation.
And y'all only been together 6 months.
6 months, right? And me personally, I would be saying, I'm like, we only, exactly that sentence. We've only been together for 6 months. Like, that's not nearly long enough for you to be acting this way.
For real.
So sorry. Like,
Cause
if you
y'all
want to,
take your
yeah.
cousin down tomorrow if we break up. To be honest.
Yeah.
So you may need to pump your brakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Crazy.
all right, moving on. To my story. What did I have? Okay. So this one is from Am I the Asshole? And it says, Am I the asshole for giving my wedding guests a dress code?
Here we go with this bullshit. Cause
Ah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me get the
context.
context. Okay, sorry.
Okay. I, female 29, am getting married to my partner, 30, male, and we have planned a fantasy/Renaissance themed wedding. We are massive fandom nerds, books, video games, movies, comics, etc., and actually met at a Ren fair and wanted that to be part of our wedding. We discussed it with our close friends, and everyone thought it was a great idea. So we sent out the invitations plus an attached letter that explained why we wanted to have a themed wedding and examples of the type of things we wanted people to wear. Just Google Ren Fair if you want to see. We included photos, descriptions, budget categories that went from how to DIY a costume using old/thrifted clothes to just straight out buying something online. We also asked people to reach out if they had worries so we could work something out. I have received a few messages from my closer friends saying they've heard other people, including some me and my partner's family members, calling me a bridezilla, saying we are being unreasonable, that this is ridiculous, that they don't want to go if I'm going to get all up in arms over clothing. My soon-to-be mother-in-law, female 59, and sister-in-law, female 26, is especially pissed. I reached out to them after their names were mentioned, and they said, I am ruining what is supposed to be a happy day by demanding people dress up like idiots. They said everyone should be allowed to dress in what makes them comfortable, and I am being very controlling. My partner says not to listen to them, but there are so many people saying it. I'm feeling pretty hurt by all this. I assumed people would react like this if I said everyone needed to go out and spend hundreds on costumes, but we went out of our way to include pictures and suggestions as many very low budget options as possible. I honestly didn't think it was a big deal, but now I'm having second thoughts about the whole themed wedding idea. We put in the invitation we don't expect or want people to buy us wedding gifts and would rather they keep their money for themselves or use it for their outfit. One of the low budget options were things like normal floral spring/slumber dresses many people would already own, with the addition of something like a flower crown or a belt or something, and it went up from there. For men, it was something as simple as a linen shirt with a piece of fabric tied around your waist or belt, quite low key. And I'm not super strict about it, just not things like cocktail dresses or bodycon dresses or a formal suit and tie. Am I the asshole?
Okay. How do I approach this nicely? So, I don't think you're the asshole for wanting a themed wedding. It's your wedding. You should be allowed to do what you want to do on your special day. However, if I was invited, I would not be attending. I'm not going to hold you. Because for me, the Renaissance was very different, bitch. I'm going to end up looking like a runaway slave. And I don't. Ragged attire is not going to sell the same at the 7-Eleven as it's going to sell for you. Okay? I don't need anybody asking me where I got my emancipation papers from. Okay? At the Quick and Go. I'm trying to pump my fucking gas. Okay? And go to this wedding. So I'm not attending. It's not for me. And honestly, that goes for any themed wedding. Like if it's like Hollywood Nights or something, like something where it's already dressy, then that's fine. If you're asking me to dress up as a character to attend your wedding, I'm good. I'm gonna send my gift as a sorry for my non-attendance, but I won't be there. I think your soon-to-be mother-in-law and sister-in-law are tripping because, at the end of the day, you ain't hurting nobody. This is your wedding day. They sound like they really want to be a part of your husband's big day. They can give a shit about you. And they're upset with you because they don't want to go, but they do want to be there for him. So I think they're just going to have to make a hard decision and not go. But just know that they are going to hold that against you. You know what I'm saying? And they're probably going to have a lot of people on their side to say that this whole thing was ridiculous. I'm not saying that it is ridiculous. I'm just saying how people are going to act about this whole thing, especially because this is outside of the norm. You know what I'm saying? God. So no, I don't blame you for doing what you want to do. You went above and beyond with providing people examples and stuff, but some people just they don't care about the examples. They just don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at with it.
I too think that they're not the ass for wanting to do this, especially for the reasonings for why they want to do this. Just like we said that, not everybody's templates are the same in previous episodes and such like that. When you have a couple, especially ones who are on the nerdier side, who are very into things, books and comics and games and stuff like that, and the fact that they met at a place like Ren Fair, it's not out of the question that their wedding would also reflect that. And friends and families of them who know them probably should have expected. It shouldn't come out of left field that this is something that they would want to do. With that being said, this was very much, from what I read, a mutually exclusive decision where husband and wife decided that they wanted to do this. This was not strictly the bride. So the fact that the bride is getting all the heat is upsetting to me. That's what's really upsetting to me.
Yeah.
Because if sister-in-law and mother-in-law want to be mad, you can go ahead and call your son and brother, because he's with me on this one. He wants to celebrate how we first met, which was at a Ren fair, and we want our wedding to be reflecting of that. You're mad because you don't get to dress in glam. That's not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
Go somewhere where you can be glamorous if that's what you want to do. This isn't the wedding for that. And me personally, I'm not going to be upset over it if you decide you don't want to come, because that's always an option. I'm giving you the invitation, but it's not an expectation for you to come. It's just to let you know, hey, this is what's happening. We would love for you to be a part of the day, but it's always just if you can make it. If you can't make it, that's fine.
Yeah.
With no hard feelings if you can't make it. If you don't like the theme and you don't want to come, that's fine. No hard feelings. But if you're wanting to support your son, he wants this.
Right.
Support him.
Right.
You don't have to say a lick to me, but he wants to be dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be dressed up. That's where I have a problem with this situation. I don't think she's an asshole in this regard, because at the end of the day, she did. I mean, something as simple, like she said, as a sundress or whatever, just something with some flowers on it, and you just throw a belt on it, or you put a flower crown in your hair. Like, those are not unreasonable options. You can still dress up and make it fun and make it cute and make it beautiful. You just got to be open to it and make it your own.
Yeah.
There's ways to have fun with it.
I'm with you 100% on that's where the problem is with her getting all the brunt. I mean, I can see it because weddings are looked more to as a woman's day and different stuff like that. So I can see why, because she's probably one who put together all the examples and all the different stuff. So it may be coming off as she's the one that's behind it. But I agree with you 100% that the mother-in-law and the sister-in-law are straight tripping.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, I don't see no problem with them deciding not to go if this is something that they don't want to do. Mm-hmm. Because I am very much that person.
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not feeling it, and I know that I'm not gonna be comfortable in the space, or I'm not gonna have a good time, I'm just not gonna go.
Yeah.
I actually had something like that happen over this before last weekend, where it was a situation where maybe some people would have said that I should have been there, but I mean, I was like, no, there's no, and even there were questions that were asked, and I answered them honestly. I don't want to go, and I did, and we went and did something else instead. And I know that there were plenty of conversations that were had, behind it. But at the end of the day, if you're going to make a decision like that, you really going to have to stand on that. So if the mother and the sister-in-law, if they decide not to go, they really going to have to stand on that, but also realize that they can't really hold no grudge against that girl, because this is her day. She gets to, spend, this ain't for y'all. Like you said, Crystal, this is an invitation. You're not obligated to go. You're not required. You can come or you cannot come. But my wedding day is finna be how the fuck I want it to be. And that's point blank period. So under no circumstances in this letter is she the asshole, in my opinion.
Yeah. Great.
Sensational. We are agreed. Girl, I'm going to tell you that when we get off here too. Oh, that's a story for your ass that I can't tell on the show. We actually, I'm gonna give y'all a little behind the scenes on this show, since it's a shorter episode. There was actually a story that I told on here, y'all, a couple of weeks ago that we had to cut out of the show.
Yeah,
it was a good 10 plus minute story situation that I laid out in full. but I was advised by counsel to cut it out. So, so we had to cut it out.
Yes.
Um,
I was fine with your life being fucked up after that, but you know, I also understand you're 6 hours ahead of me. So,
things, things are
it's different
different.
over there
Things are different.
in that part of the world.
We're different. So, anyway, but remind you, I got to tell you that story after we get off of here. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
So my story comes to us again from my favorite subreddit r/relationship advice, and it is entitled "I, 22-year-old female, believe my boyfriend, 28-year-old male, might be tampering with my toothbrush."
Okay.
Buckle up. And I apologize, y'all. There are some errors in this. I did not edit it, so apologies if I stumble over it because they spelled something wrong or something. This is probably the weirdest and most disgusting thing I have ever had to type, but I think I'm slowly realizing that my boyfriend has been doing something really fucked up. We've been together for about a year and a half. He's always been a little passive aggressive when he's upset. He won't talk things through. He just gets quiet or moody, gives me the silent treatment, or accuses me of trying to continue arguments when I'm trying to hash things out until the conversation ends. He loves to reset and act like an issue or disagreement never happened. Anyways, a few months ago, I started noticing my toothbrush was being moved. It's electric and it would be off the charger, on the side, or the whole thing would be scooted back and forth. I thought it was just getting knocked around because our countertops are small. Eventually, I started noticing that it would be wet in the middle of the day or other times when I hadn't recently brushed my teeth. One time I noticed something on it like it had been used to clean grout. That's when I started keeping a small spare toothbrush hidden in my makeup bag, which was never moved or messed with. Here's the part that really makes me sick. I finally confronted him after struggling to come to the reality that someone might be this disgusting and said something straightforward along the lines of, "Are you doing something to my toothbrush when you're mad at me?" And he just laughed and said, "You're crazy," and then refused to talk about it further. I don't even know how to process that. Like, what? I haven't seen him do it, so I don't have proof. But I know something's up. I feel crazy, but my gut is screaming at me that this is real, and he's getting back at me by putting my toothbrush in the toilet or something else gross. I haven't told anyone because it's honestly humiliating and gross, but I feel trapped between thinking I'm paranoid and realizing that I might be with someone who would literally put my toothbrush in the toilet to get back at me. What do I even do?
Okay, so there's a really easy solution to something like this. You can break up with him.
Say it, Crystal. Say it.
No way in hell am I going to stay in a relationship, nor should you when you have this many doubts. The moment you have a partner where you bring something up and they reply, "You're crazy," I'm out. You're not going to have me downing my sanity in this relationship. So I'm done. I don't care if we're married. I don't care if the kids. I'm gone. We're gone. The divorce is happening. There's too much anxiety in this relationship.
Okay.
Too much. The fact that you could think that he would do this, like this is a possibility for him because of the way he acts. This man is a whole 28, almost 30, going on 30, and he is still acting like a child. Break up with him. Break up. This man does not need to be in a relationship, and you do not need to be in a relationship with him. End it. Be done with it. Get your peace back in your life because this sounds terrible. I don't care how much good you might have in this relationship. It can no way, shape, or form override the anxiety I have just from listening to the story.
Yeah.
There's no way it overshadows the stuff that goes on in this relationship. You can't even discuss a disagreement with him without him completely shutting down and essentially throwing his hands and pouting in a corner until he gets his way and you stop talking to him.
Say it.
Leave this man alone.
Say- Crystal, we are on this. Where we are on the same wavelength. Like you got, I'll give you twice. I'm gonna give you twice tops. But if
Mm-hmm.
I notice there's something going on, like
Mm-hmm.
some shady shit that inconspicuous
Mm-hmm.
stuff, I'm gonna do like Beyonce. I'm gonna leave a note in the hallway. By the time you read it, I'll be far away because you won't get me. You will not get me in my sleep because bitch, the next thing first starts the toothbrush, then it's little sprinkles of things in my food. Next
Mm-hmm.
thing you know, I'm waking up to the underside of my pillow. I'm not. We're not playing those type of games. Like
No.
I do. If you're interested, she did leave an update.
Okay.
The update.
Yes,
The
I
update
do.
lengthy though.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I was because
Okay.
I was gonna say, me personally, I don't know if I could necessarily. It depends. A year and a half, I might not be able to just walk away without the answers. So me personally, I'd be finding some sort of hidden camera. I'd be picking a fight, and I'd be watching to see what happens when we're in an argument. Because I personally would want to know like this for sure, so that when I'm breaking up with you, even though I already have plenty of justification to break up with you just from the anxiety of this alone, when I'm breaking up with you, I can know for sure, like, I know I'm not crazy. You're going to tell me
Yeah.
I'm crazy, but like, I literally have proof of this happening. But it could go either way. Like, I'd either want to find out for sure, or I would just, leave a note in the hallway and be back in my bags. Either way, I'm
Mm.
leaving. I'm
Mm-hmm.
leaving. Okay.
Because
So yes.
what you should have did, the little caps that you put on the head of the toothbrush,
Mm-hmm.
you should put one of those with tape on it.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if this tape is moved, bitch, a
If it's
centimeter up or
broken or
down,
something,
you'll know
something.
this been
Yeah.
tampered with. Ooh, it
Yeah.
makes me sick just thinking about it. I'm sorry.
Agreed.
So she gave an update. It's pretty lengthy, so buckle in. She said, when I first wrote this post, I felt sick, confused, and honestly ashamed. I didn't think anyone would even read it, let alone respond. And boy, did they respond. But I did get responses, a lot of them. And something about that being seen in the situation I've been quietly drowning in shifted something in me. I didn't give him another chance because I still couldn't believe that this was happening. I gave him one because part of me wanted him to redeem himself. I wanted I wanted to show him how scared I was, how small he'd made me feel, and do something decent for once. After that first night I posted here, I thought maybe if I brought it up again calmly and gave him a real opening to be honest, he might finally do the right thing. Instead, he doubled down. This time, he implied that it might be his daughter, an 8-year-old girl. He shrugged and said, kids do weird stuff like that. Maybe she's been playing a trick on you. And when I tried to bring it up, how unsafe and confused I felt for months, how he used to leave me my he used to leave my food out on purpose when he was mad, and how he would push me to drop both school and work, how isolated and anxious I become, and he just brushed it all off, said that they were just normal relationship disagreements and could have been worked out though if I communicated better. It was so dismissive. It Ow! I can see the steam raising off the top of your head. It was so dismissive, it actually stunned me. I realized in that moment that nothing I ever said ever mattered to him, and it never had. So I dropped it. I smiled. I pretended to believe him. I told him it was probably just all in my head. I didn't expect anyone to respond when I reached out. I've been so cut off from everything, but one of them did pretty much immediately, like she was waiting to hear from me again. She told me I could crash on her couch for a few weeks while I find a job back in my home state, probably bartending or waitressing again. I don't care. I just needed out. She waited for me at a nearby restaurant. All I had to do was text her the second he left to drop off his daughter with her mom. The moment the door closed behind him, I grabbed everything I could carry, just a couple bags, and left all the big stuff behind without even looking back. It took 6 hours to get back home, but I'm here now. I'm safe. My body already feels different. Of course, I've already gotten texts. His daughter's mom, her family asking where I've gone and begging me to come back, or saying that the kid misses me and that I was so good with her and they need help. And yeah, I will miss her too. I really will. She didn't ask for any of this. I'm not doing this for anyone else anymore. I'm doing this for me, for the version of me who used to be, for the version of me who used to have friends, who used to go out and had a whole future planned. So thanks to everyone who commented and reminded me that being scared in my own home isn't normal. Y'all helped me find the nerve to leave. Isn't that great? Right? Don't it get you verklempt?
Uh, yes, because I was really clenching my teeth in the middle of there. She was really smart, I think, in the way she handled her leaving. When she tried to give him one last chance and he was dismissive and he spoke the way he did, that's probably exactly what I would have done. I would have realized in that moment, this is how it's always going to be, and this is not how I want to live my life. And I sure as hell would have smiled. Okay, honey, you're right. It's probably just in my head. Future men, if you ever hear me say that, I'm gone. That is my exit.
Say that.
If we're ever in a relationship and that's what I say when we're in the middle of an argument, I'm already gone. I've
if you
already
hear the
left.
Words, you're right. Crystal's out of there.
I'm out of there. If you hear me saying it's probably in my head, I'm gone.
Yep.
The whole relationship is done.
Yeah.
You made the moves that you needed to move, and you don't have any obligations to anyone else. The only other person I would probably communicate in some way, shape, or form maybe would be the ex-wife, so that I could say a proper goodbye to the little girl, because at this point I've been in her life. She's only 8 for a year and a half. I've been helping take care of her. Obviously, we have a good relationship. She deserves that goodbye. Mm-hmm. And so I might be in contact with that ex-wife, maybe explain a little bit about, because obviously, things didn't work out. There might be some correlation there. But who knows? But at the very least, I would probably at least reach out to say, hey, it's just not going to work. But I do love your child, and I want to give her a proper goodbye and let her know if she's ever needed anything, of course she can contact me. But in the event of me and her father, it's never going to happen again. But yeah, other than that, I'm so glad. People just don't realize the weight that is lifted when they leave these types of relationships. Yeah. I mean, just this is a great example.
They don't see how their life is being dismantled. Like the way she talked about him pushing her to drop school, drop work, pulling her away from her friends, keeping her in, like, people don't see it happening in real time until you're on the other side and you're trapped.
Yeah. These little things, this is what I mean when it seems like little things over time. So they don't seem like a big deal until you're in this situation where you have to take a look at your life as a whole and you realize just how far down it's gone. Like she said, she gets so isolated and used to the way things are that she thinks it's somehow normal to be afraid in her own home. And it isn't until she's left and she's gone that she's able to breathe and realize, man, like this was a bad situation that I was in, and thankfully she had someone that was able to reach out to get her help, to get her out of there. I know not everybody has those types of resources, but, this is how, even strangers on the internet, they can be that voice of reason when you need it to be. So I'm glad she was able to not only come and vent, but that she was able to get really great advice to really make her take a look, because those little details were not in that. There were hints of it. I could only assume that was the type of relationship they were kind of in.
Yeah.
But then this update with her having said these things, I'm like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And so I'm just glad that she was able to get out of that relationship.
Yeah, I'm glad she found it within herself after somebody shook her shoulders. Because, it happens sometimes where you can shake somebody's shoulders 10, 11, 12, 20 times, and they just will not see it until sometimes, unfortunately, it's too late. And now you on Dateline NBC, you know what I'm saying? And we in memoriam, So I'm glad that she took the internet shaking her ass, awake to be like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. And she literally left like a thief in the night. I'm so
And
happy.
and it makes me wonder how, because you got to understand, I mean, it wasn't a huge age gap. She was like 22, he was 28, but it was significant enough where within a year and a half, you were leaving work, you were leaving school, you were moving in with him, you were isolated from your friends, I'm assuming your family in some way since you weren't in your hometown, like you said. So, like, that's a lot that happened in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So I imagine this relationship probably moved pretty quickly.
Oh, it sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like he is, you know, some form of established
Mm-hmm.
to where he could afford to take care of her to the point where she felt comfortable enough,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when he was pressuring her to be like, okay, you know, I don't need to work. I don't need
Yeah.
to go to school, because maybe she saw, you know, this is somebody I could build a life with, and he has the means to provide the life that, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
want to live.
Mm-hmm.
So I can absolutely see that. And that's when the age, like you said, the age difference, it's not significant when you look at the actual age, but when you look
Yeah.
at the station in life, maturity level, life experience and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it's really significant, and that's where it can get dangerous for
Mm-hmm.
people.
And you really got to look at where your station in life is in regard to his. Like, when these people pressure you to move in quickly and they want you to drop your job and your school load and all that stuff, where is it coming from?
Yeah.
Because the fact that he had a child that she didn't mention previously, how much of the childcare were you doing?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm wondering. Because the mom is sitting here saying, we need you. Why do you need me?
Right. That was a scary thing to me. Why are
That
you
says,
texting me, lady, talking about I need to come back?
yeah,
Like, what he got over you? This some type of
that's what
voodoo
I'm saying.
shit?
Like, it to me, it sounds like she knows the type of person he is. I mean, obviously, because they have the kids together, but like, she knows her daughter is better off having you there
Yeah.
versus just him.
Yeah.
Um, and that says all you need to know right there.
That's who I'm most afraid for, is that
Mm-hmm.
daughter,
Yeah.
because God bless. Who knows what's going to happen when they're in the house alone, how he's going to influence her
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, manipulate her into thinking, you know, some type of way or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, I know, you know, the ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, whoever she was happy to have her around there. And
Mm-hmm.
like Crystal said, I hope she does get to, maybe it's better cold turkey, honestly.
Maybe.
Because sometimes
Yeah.
the kids are the gateway for going back
Yeah.
to that type
That's
of,
true.
you know, abuse and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's better to go cold turkey and, you know, just pray for that girl,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in your spare time. But you did what you needed to do for yourself. And I think it's cold turkey, move on.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for another episode, Crystal. I had
Thank
a
you.
sensational time. I think we delved out some fantastic advice, and I'm glad that
Mm-hmm.
we got the resolution to that last story.
Me
And I
too.
want to thank you all, illustrious audience, for joining us for another episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you like what you heard, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening. Make sure that you also leave us a written review, and we might just read it aloud on the show. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe on this YouTube's. Shout out to the YouTube community. If you have any questions, comments, or you would like to share your own story or anything that you saw online, you can do so by leaving that in our DMs on our various social media platforms or at our email, teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That's TEAANDCRYSTAL at gmail.com. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on the Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. Now, Crystal, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we get the hell up out of here?
Yeah, once again, a reminder, next week we will not be having a new episode. We just have some things that we have going on and we just aren't able to record this weekend. So next Monday, which I believe is June 2nd, no new episode, but we should be back the following week. And will. So thank you guys so much. We enjoyed being here with you guys, and we'll see you next time on our next episode.
So will.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Give me the hearts.
Give it a
Okay.
hearts. Give it a hearts. Damn. Bye, y'all.